The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. A Christmas Carol is one of the greatest classics of the world written by Charles Dickens. In the story, Dickens shows the need for fellow feeling and sympathy if we are to live happily in this world. Ebenezer Scrooge was a miserly. Miserly means one who hates spending money. Grasping, hard businessman who was mean to everyone, especially his clerk Bob Cratchit, refused to help the poor and hated Christmas. Miserly also means conjuse in Hindi. As a result, the rest of humanity shunned Scrooge, but he didn't care one little bit. Now let's read the chapter. One Christmas Eve, Scrooge went home after refusing to join his nephew Fred at Christmas dinner or take part in any way in Christmas cheer, calling it all a humbug. What is a humbug? A nonsense. That evening, his late partner, Jacob Marley's ghost, who in life had been another Scrooge means another confused person, visited him. The ghost was wearing heavy chains and bemoaning his fate, means he was blaming his fate, he was blaming his life. Marley's ghost told Scrooge he had forged the chain of his misery, link by link through his life, and now regretted the way he had lived his life but could do nothing about it, since he was dead. Then the ghost said, I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate, Ebenezer. So, Marley was there to explain or to change the mind of Ebenezer Scrooge that leave this life of miserly and live a life of cheerful person as much as you can. Okay. He also told Scrooge that for his own good he would be haunted by three spirits. Haunted by three spirits means visited by the ghosts. After delivering his message, the ghost vanished. The first spirit to visit Scrooge was the ghost of Christmas past. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like a small old man. So if you will get a question to describe ghost of Christmas past, so you will describe it was a strange figure like a child, yet not so like a child as like a small old man. Its hair was white as if with age, and yet the face was young. It wore a white dress with a shimmering belt, but the strangest thing about it was that a bright, clear jet of light sprung from the top of its head that illuminated everything. The spirit took Scrooge back through times long past, back to his school days and to Christmases he used to enjoy as a young child and also some as a lad. Lad means a young man that he spent in boarding school, miserable and alone. It also showed him how he had lost the love of a loving and caring woman by becoming a hard miser interested only in money. Now, the next visitor, the ghost of Christmas present, was a jolly ghost in a loose green robe bordered with white fur. So now we are describing the ghost of Christmas present. So it was a jolly ghost in a loose green robe bordered with white fur. Jolly ghost means a happy and a cheerful ghost. It showed Scrooge what joys and pleasant experiences he missed by not participating in Christmas and took Scrooge on a tour of poor people, enjoying their humble Christmases. Bob Cratchit's family was among them, as also that of his nephew Fred, whose Christmas dinner Scrooge has rudely refused to join. The last to visit was the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. The spirit was covered in black from head to toe. Its face and shape was not visible, except for his hand, which was stretched out with a finger pointing ahead. So, the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come was the spirit was covered in black from head to toe. Its face and shape was not visible, except for his hand, which was stretched out with a finger pointing ahead. Scrooge was filled with deep fear. His terror turned ice cold. His terror turned ice cold means he seemed to freeze with fear when the spirit did not utter a word but just stood there pointing. Are you the ghost of Christmas yet to come? Asked Scrooge. The spirit did not answer but pointed ahead. You are going to show me what is yet to happen in times to come, isn't it? There was a movement at the top of the rope as if the spirit had nodded, and that was the only answer it gave. Scrooge was shaking with fear as he followed the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Spirit, I am very scared of you, but as I know that what you will show is for my good, I am willing to come with you. Take me wherever you have to. The ghost offered Scrooge glimpses of a possible future marked by the death of an old sinner. And old sinner means an old person who has committed many sins. He was actually pointing this to Scrooge because he had committed many sins, and of Tiny Tim, the beloved child of Bob Cratchit. Eventually, Scrooge said, "Oh, Spirit, I know it is nearly time for us to part company." Part company means separate from each other. "But you must tell me who that sinner was who was lying in bed." They reached a churchyard. The ghost pointed through the iron gate into the churchyard. It was a small, cramped yard. Cramped means not big enough, run down and neglected, like an abandoned house. There were weeds all over the graves. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed to one of them. Scrooge approached it trembling. Trembling means shaking with fear. "Before I looked at the name on the stone, will you tell me something?" The stone means the gravestone, about a grave showing details of the person buried there. Actually, the name is actually written there, right? So, are these all shadows of what will be or what may be? The spirit silently pointed to the grave. "I know that if a man acts in a certain way, then there will be a certain end for him. But if he changes his ways, will the end be the same? Tell me that this is not so." So now Scrooge wanted to know that if he changes now, will his end be also be changed? He wanted to know this from the spirit. But the spirit did not move. Scrooge crept towards the grave, shaking as he went. He followed the finger and read upon the stone of the unkempt grave his name, Ebenezer Scrooge. Unkempt means not looked after carefully or kept neat. "Am I that man who lay upon the bed?" The finger pointed to the grave. "No, spirit, no, no, no." The finger was still there. "Spirit, I am no longer the person I was. I have changed, I assure you." "Why do you show me all this if there is no hope for me?" The hand started to shake. "Good spirit, I know you pity me." I know you pity means I know you have mercy on me. "Tell me there is hope for me." In desperation. In desperation means in state of hopelessness. Scrooge clung to the hand of the spirit, which tried to free itself. And then he noticed a great change in the spirit. It seemed to be shrinking and becoming smaller and smaller. Finally, it collapsed and became a bedpost. Bedpost means one of the four vertical posts at the corner of a bed, on which the bed actually stands. The bedpost was his own. The bed was his own. The room was his own. And the best of all, the time ahead of him, the time yet to come was his own. And he could make a better man of himself. "I will live in the past, present, and the future," said Scrooge as he jumped out of the bed. "The spirits of all three will live in me." In the end, Ebenezer Scrooge became once again the kind hearted, happy man he was in his youth. He sent a huge Christmas turkey to Bob Cratchit's and attended Fred's party. Later, he gave Bob a raise. A raise means an increase in salary, and looked after Tiny Tim, because of which the little boy recovered from his illness. The story is adapted from the story by Charles Dickens. Here we come to the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.